Hi YouTube! Welcome back to another video. Today we are gonna be watching I Created a Secret Society of Hivers in Kenshi by Reggie. By the way, I absolutely love this game. I have played it to death. This game has consumed my life once, and I kind of want to go back, honestly, now that I think of it. Yeah, it's such a fun game. I called it earlier pretty much The Sims for psychopaths, and I don't think I'm wrong. By the way, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that, but I don't think that's a bad way to describe it. If you don't know this game, yeah, it's like an insane version of The Sims where you play as weird samurai in a post-apocalyptic future. So I'm excited. It's kind of like a free roam game. There's no real objective. You just create your own stories and like play the game and kill bosses and have fun and create horrible organ farms. Not really. You can't harvest organs, but you can do a lot of bad stuff. We'll see. I think we're gonna see a lot of it in this video. So, without further ado, let's jump into it.
The Holy Nation is a veritable theocracy that uses their religious principles to violently discriminate against non-human races,
increase the volume.
and even some of the human ones too. Perhaps most of all, the Holy Nation hate the Chinese. I mean the Hivers. They really hate the Hivers. That being said, today's challenge is to try to establish a sleeper cell of bugmen living within a Holy Nation city. If you're unfamiliar, a sleeper cell is defined as a group of people who inconspicuously remain dormant in a community until activated by a prearranged signal.
Okay, sorry. I'm already, this is already interesting because the Holy Nation is kind of like a bunch of awful people who really don't like anyone that's ever so slightly different from them. Take that as you will. And, some types of people, they literally attack on sight. Just for being there, the paladins of the Holy Nation will crusade against you and put you in jail and try to kill you. So it's kind of interesting how he wants a cell of hivers, which is like ant people or bug people. Because I don't know how that's gonna work. We'll see.
To perform acts of espionage, sabotage, and or terrorism. The ultimate goal: abolish the ethnostate by overthrowing the local government.
This is a noble goal, by the way.
Of hivers. Let's begin. The first thing any good rebellion needs is a man on the inside. For our purposes, we need someone average and with a good, strong
this is
Christian
the average
name.
person.
I chose Motumbo. He will function as a relatable everyman that will allow us to gain the trust of the Holy Nation and destroy it from within. Don't be deceived by Motumbo's long limbs and movie star physique. He is terrible at virtually everything.
Yeah, by the way, this is how you start the game. You have one, which is pretty much, it's literally the worst possible. I don't think you can get to 0. Maybe you can. Yeah, you actually can get to 0. Okay, so it's not literally the worst thing. But yeah, you start the game at the worst possible place for one individual character. And you have to work through it. You have to become strong, become dexterous, perceive more. And toughness is literally get hit more. That's how you train.
We will have to train him from the ground up like some kind of feral child that we pulled out of a wolf den. In particular, we need to focus on basic life skills such as
That's a lot of butter.
Stealth, lockpicking, and kidnapping. Don't ask questions. My favorite way to do this personally is by harassing the local homeless population.
Yep.
But if I'm going to persecute homeless people, I want it to be official and definitely on the record. Therefore, I decided to hold a local election to determine the president of Hub. Since only Motumbo showed up, I declared it a landslide victory in our favor. Now we could start ruining society the morally correct way.
Hell
our first
yeah.
move was to enact an economic redistribution policy where we redistributed everyone else's stuff directly into our inventory. We then traded these items for the entire city's food supply. This served not only to enrich our caloric intake, but
not
it also
the
caused our
Nico
citizens to
cameo.
wither and starve. Amazing. We then spent the next 2 weeks connecting with our supporters by breaking into their homes late at night to conduct wellness checks.
Wake up.
Yeah, supporters, right? Unwilling supporters.
Yeah, it's me, Motumbo.
Imagine waking up to this.
You doing alright? I just came to check on you. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Go back to sleep. I like to watch. It's okay.
If any of them got a little too uppity about it, we knocked them the fuck out. After 2 successful weeks of being the president of the largest migrant camp in all of Kenshi.
Yeah, this is the starting area of this game. Just so you have an idea of like what's the environment here, like what we're working with.
I felt as though I had the necessary skills to become a domestic terrorist. So we set off to join the Holy Nation. Motumbo successfully migrated to Blister Hill. It's the capital of the entire Holy Nation, as well as the place where their leader, Lord Phoenix, lives. So not only are we establishing a sleeper
Lord
cell
Phoenix
in enemy
sucks.
territory, but we're basically doing it in their version
What?
of the White House. Now the first step
I'm
is
not
to
gonna go
house
back for
shopping
that
to
dialogue.
establish our headquarters. Fortunately, I pawned everything
If
in
you
the
read
hub
it,
that
you read
wasn't
it.
nailed to the floor, and so money was not an issue. Now, when you're new to the human trafficking business, what you really want is square footage. I concluded that this house here offers the best bang for my buck when it comes to hiding forbidden species from God's eye. Yes, it's a bit of a fixer-upper, but look who's talking. Shalom, we had bought our first home. Now that this is done,
Also, you can build stuff in this game. Like, you can build houses, you can build beds, you can literally even build your own city. It's so fun. I love this game so much!
we have to perform what is known as a proof of concept test. You see, before we attempt to smuggle 50 hivers past border security, we should start with one, just to make sure it's even possible.
I mean,
so
yeah.
Motumbo set forth into the world to find his first recruit.
Can you
We traveled to the
carry
western
people
highlands,
in?
where we could surely find an endless supply of potential recruits. The only issue is that recruiting has never been particularly easy in Kenshi. At best, you can recruit local alcoholics
Yeah.
from the tavern. However, that doesn't work for us. We need a scalable solution. To address this issue, we have the
What do you mean
Recruit Prisoners
scalable?
mod, which allows
Oh.
us to kidnap people, gaslight them with several hours of psychological torment, and eventually convince them to join our party thanks to a neat little mechanic.
Yeah, highly
called
moddable
Stockholm
game, by
Syndrome.
the way.
So all we have to do is kidnap and imprison
Nice.
a hiver. I skulked around the area for some time, pretending to be mentally ill. This lured the hivers into a false sense of security and allowed me to get closer to my target. Once he was alone, I hit him over the back of the head with a rock and dragged
Yep.
him into the shadows. One quick
That's
run
how you
across
make
the
friends.
desert and we were now outside the gates of Blister
Oh,
Hill. I
look
decided
at them
to try the
bone
simplest
dogs.
approach, which was to just carry his unconscious and bleeding body past the police and into my apartment. I think if it worked for Jeffrey Dahmer, it should also work for me. And just like that, we were in. Motumbo then deposited
Wow,
our
this
first
is
lucky
awful.
recruit into his very own rusty steel cage. I decided to leave our new recruit in darkness for 2 to 3 days so he could think about all the poor decisions he's made. When we returned, he was more than eager to join the squad. Now we just had to choose a new
Yay!
identity for him.
Safety!
It needed to be
Kind of.
inconspicuous and
Very
disarming.
relative,
I
but
settled on calling him Mr. Patel. Sure, Mr. Patel might be Indian, but he's definitely not part of a grassroots
What?
terrorist organization.
I mean,
It
yeah.
was perfect. We could now enter
I mean-
phase 2 of our operation, stockpiling supplies. You see, if Motumbo is going to kidnap dozens of hivers and hide them under the floorboards of his studio apartment, they're going to need a steady food supply. Otherwise, this whole
Yeah, honestly,
Jeffrey Dahmer parallel might become a
food
little
is
too
such a
real.
big thing.
So I elected Mr. Patel to be the head of agricultural development. Motumbo smuggled him past the city gates again and back into the free world to establish a large-scale
think-
farming operation.
I don't think
had a
it's
lot of faith
as
in Mr.
inconspicuous
Patel. I
as
knew
he
wouldn't
makes
do
it to
something
be.
dishonorable, like fleeing with all my blood money. Technically, to operate a farm successfully, you're going to want more than one person. But I didn't want to attract too much attention, so I left it all up to Mr. Patel and his army of windmills.
Poor
But
Mr.
don't
Patel,
worry,
holy
Motumbo
crap.
will be watching very closely. After 22 hours
Oh.
of painfully micromanaging Mr. Patel, I finally felt as though we had a reasonable amount of food stockpiled. Now we could
That's a lot of
finally
rice.
return to our real passion of violently coercing people to join our social justice flash mob. In many ways, you could consider what we're doing to be somewhat like a business. And the first step in expanding any business
this ethical?
is to establish a recruitment office.
What am I saying?
named
This is
ours
Kenshi.
Abu Ghraib. Technically speaking, it was just a desolate shack in the middle of the desert, but functionally, it would operate as an indoctrination
Oh,
chamber,
it's a small
allowing us
gorilla.
to grow our numbers indefinitely. Allow me to demonstrate. Motumbo goes to the hive lands. He kidnaps
Mhm.
and recruits one hiver. Then both Motumbo and the hiver go kidnap 2 more hivers. Then the 4 of them
Mhm.
kidnap 4
Aha,
more
I
hivers,
see.
and 8 more, and 16 more. In other words, Motumbo gets hella bitches. Motumbo would then individually smuggle each hiver into the
Smart.
city and
Wow,
deposit
this
them
is so-
safely in his
Whoa!
living room. This would constitute the beginnings of our sleeper
Look at how many people there are there. Ah!
cell. However, about halfway through this mission, I realized 2 things. I was running out of space in my apartment, and I forgot to pick up the food from Mr. Patel. Let's solve the easiest problem
Ooh,
first.
that's a bad
Our lack
one.
of space. The solution is
Also, I feel like even though, by the way, yeah, different races of characters have different stats. Hivers, the bug people, they eat less. They don't consume as much food as others would. But even then, given how many people, I don't think just one guy with a farm's gonna be able to feed everyone there.
quite simple, actually. We just need to buy a second apartment. The only road bump in this mission is finances. Since freelance kidnapping is not yet recognized as a job, Motumbo has technically been unemployed for the past 38 days. As such, we don't have a lot of money. I decided to solve this by invading a sovereign state. Technically, it was just a way station, but that's a good start.
Oh, I know this
took my army of
place.
30 hivers to the way station
I
territory
built my city
and
very
launched
near
a
to that.
full-scale assault. You may think that an army of naked bugmen may not seem that intimidating, but unless you're some kind of freaky sex guy, then you
Whoa.
would be wrong. After pawning all of the worldly possessions from this outpost, we finally had enough money to buy a second apartment to store our hivers. Now came the more
Yeah, by the way, that's not a lot of money
we have over
in
30
Kenshi terms.
hivers, and they need food. Fortunately, we have the food. The issue is, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but
Look at
Motumbo
how many
has
people there
kind of
are!
developed a bit of a reputation due to his eccentric personality, and I'm worried that Mr.
Yeah, I'm
Patel
sure.
could be in danger if he is
Ooh,
caught
they got
supplying food
hydroponics!
to Motumbo. So I orchestrated
Wow!
a complex but
That's a
believable
big
series
operation.
of events that would allow us to transfer the food from Mr. Patel to Motumbo without anyone ever knowing. First, I used my new property to start an illegal
A
money
money
printing
printer?
operation.
What?
This would serve
This
two
is modded,
purposes.
no?
One, it would provide
never
us the rest
seen
of the
that.
money that we would need for our entire playthrough. And 2, it will devastate the local currency through hyperinflation, inevitably resulting in the Holy Nation becoming a barter economy based on sexual favors. We would then use our
you
newfound
stop?
wealth to open 2 seemingly
Holy
legitimate
crap!
business ventures. The
There's something telling me, I'm not sure, you can correct me, but I feel like this guy might be into bugs. Maybe.
first would be a rock mining company, and the second a veterinary practice. This will make sense shortly. The
Why?
rock mining company would logically buy their food from the closest available trader, which happened to be
It's called Legitimate Farm. I'm sure it is.
Mr. Patel. Now the rock mining company has our food. This constitutes our first layer of encryption in this illegal food smuggling operation. Unfortunately, shortly after buying the food from Mr. Patel, the pet of one of the rock miners becomes sick. He decides to take his pet to our veterinary practice to diagnose the issue. In fact, the animal is not sick, it's dead. We have hollowed out its insides and filled it with over 800 kilograms of white rice. Now the vet has our food. He will wait until nightfall, at which
Wait. What? I'm confused. What? Because, like, you can use oxes as storage, right? Do they count as storage even if they're dead? Is that how it works? What?
point he will deconstruct his entire office and sprint across the desert. He will rendezvous at an unmarked
Just
beach,
a Burger
ultimately
King.
equipping a hazmat suit before swimming 800 feet through acid water to an uncharted island and burying the food under a pile of rocks. Overnight, the vet and everyone that works at the rock mine will go to a plastic surgeon to legally alter their name and genitals, thus allowing them to vanish into the night like an elderly person with dementia. The next morning, a skeleton will find this food and take it to a nearby town to sell it. After all, skeletons don't need food. This is completely realistic. Shortly after the transaction is complete, I will hire a local schizophrenic man to enter the shop and purchase our food from the shop owner. Following this, the man will proceed to brutally murder everyone inside the store, thus leaving no witnesses to
Oh,
this
this is
transaction.
Motumbo, I
Who
see.
is this deranged lunatic, you may ask? His
Sorry,
name is
I saw the
Motombo.
belly.
And with
Yeah.
that, we have completed the most inconspicuous food transaction in all of human history, thus ensuring the safety and anonymity of both Motombo and Mr. Patel. I would complete this elaborate series of events once a week, every week, for the rest of the playthrough. Naturally, I had Motombo use a different
Look at
disguise
him.
each week to maintain a low profile. Now, with a steady stream of both money and food, our kidnapping operation had truly entered its renaissance. By day 29, we had managed to kidnap
Oh,
a
look.
total of
I think one of these guys, or not one, but some of these guys, these like slightly blue ones, they come from the Fog Islands, I think. They're like cannibal guys.
200 hivers. In fact, we had stolen literally everyone from both of the nearest hiver villages. At this point, we had to resort to traveling north to kidnap fogmen. Fogmen are hivers that got mixed up in some kind of pyramid scheme. I don't know, it's not really clear to me.
So they weren't frogmen then. I guess there's more types of hivers than I think. Because honestly, I have not played the game like to completion. There isn't really a complete, a goal to complete. But I have not played the game like to its fullest extent. So yeah, there might be some hiver types that I've never seen actually. Cool.
But they serve a higher purpose now. After reaching a total of 255 hivers, I decided to stop because I had run out of names 90 hivers ago. Next began my quest to find housing for my 250 illegal immigrants.
What are they carrying there? I can't really tell. What is that?
It is now time for us to aggressively expand into the real estate market by monopolizing all housing.
Oh, yeah.
What's that, Mr. Realtor? You want to know why I need 14 apartments? Fuck you. I decided to purchase almost all of the real estate
Look
in
at that
Blister Hill
face.
and evict the previous tenants. Local homelessness and unemployment was now approaching 100%. In fact, a small confederation of filthy hobo people began to collect in front of the city in protest of my smooth business moves. I took this as our first successful move against the Holy Nation and a sign of
Okay, so he's like economically taking over the Holy Nation? What is it? What is this place? Blister Hill?
good things to come
I
for
don't
the
even know.
revolution. With 255
Yes, it is.
sleeper
Okay.
agents now secretly implanted within the Holy Nation, we could begin training for the final
Look at how
solution.
many people there are there.
That one already taken? Hitler.
Okay, we're
What?
just going to call it the Big Attack. I converted some of the bars into training spaces so we could muscle up some of these losers. I had never attempted a coup d'etat before, so I wasn't exactly sure how much
Oh!
preparation was necessary.
That guy looks
I settled
very
on
swole.
combat stats around 20 to 30 as my end goal for training. Additionally, I created several private hiver workshops throughout the city to manufacture weapons and armor for our soldiers.
I mean, 20 is not going to be enough. Because if I recall correctly, the paladins, which are kind of like the main force of the Holy Nation, are around level 30 combat. Because like there's different skills for different types of combat, but they like should average at level 30. So level 20, you're like noticeably worse than them. But given the numbers, I would say he's doing fine. Yeah, I think like there's High Paladins and Lord Phoenix like is very strong as well. And I think he also has like his own guard. I don't know. I love this game!
We even had a cafeteria. At this point, we basically had our own underground city operating behind a series of locked doors and secret handshakes. With our hivers now preparing for the day of reckoning, we could begin sabotaging the Holy Nation and weakening it from within. You
Oh,
see,
look at him
many
run.
scholars
So cute.
cite a degradation of morals and values as the driving force behind the collapse of the Roman Empire. I wanted to apply this concept to the Holy Nation. Certainly, creating a populace of unemployed transients was a good start, but I think we can go even further. If you recall, I purchased every store in the entire city.
Yep.
That meant there was no one to sell food to the citizens. Don't worry,
Oh.
we can fix that. Every night, I would have my hivers kidnap between 2 to 4 guards or citizens from the town
Okay.
and transport them to one of my many apartments, where their bodies would be mechanically separated
Yep.
while my secret society of hivers watched on.
When I said you couldn't do organ trading, but you could do worse things, this is what I meant. Yeah, Kenshi is a fun game.
on intently. Their limbs were then processed into raw human meat, and I opened my very own deli in the corner of town where I sold this meat to the local townspeople. Everyone in town was now a surprise cannibal. Try passing judgment on me now,
I mean,
you sick fucks.
A man's gotta eat what a man's gotta eat.
For the cherry on top, I also had Mutombo travel to the swamps to purchase large quantities of opium and cocaine. On the nights we weren't kidnapping street urchins and processing them into chicken nuggets, we would sneak up on people, knock them out, and plant cocaine and opium in their inventory, thereby getting them addicted to an expensive and highly illegal drug. For example, I found this priest here who was asleep, and I put 8 kilograms of opium in his inventory. That's enough opium to
Just
kill
8 kilograms,
100,000
right?
people. I don't think this guy's gonna wake up.
Just a normal
Now,
amount.
We definitely had the moral high ground on them at this point. After all, these people were literally homeless, unemployed, racist, cannibalistic drug addicts. So, yeah. I finally felt as though the Holy Nation was at its most vulnerable, and we were ready to activate our sleeper agents for a full-scale assault on Blister Hill. I began the assault by launching a distraction.
Oh, we're 2-0, yeah, hell yeah! Yeah, okay, is this enough celebration? Oh. Yeah. Okay, so this has been, like, kind of an active game, no? Okay, because, like, the last time was, or last game, I don't even remember. It was literally this weekend, but I already forgot. Against, who was it? Haiti, yeah. Oh, I hear the vuvuzelas! Yep. By the way, if you guys hear anything, yeah, thoughty. World Cup stuff. Yeah, the last game was like very much less active than this one. I think it was kind of boring. Yeah, there was like 2 goals in the first half, and then nothing happened in the last half. The second half, I suppose. Okay, good to know. People are having fun this time. Well, for now at least. We'll see. Let's jump back to the video.
You see, one of my apartments in the far corner of town has been filled with albino gorillos that I imported from the nearby regions. Mutombo released them into the streets, thus drawing the guards' attention away from our next step. If you remember, sleeper cells are typically activated by a prearranged signal or code phrase. So I had Mutombo climb to the highest peak in the city and scream this activation phrase at the top of his lungs.
What's gonna be?
This thing is 300 bucks.
Thereby alerting my 255 hivers that now was the time to strike. This was the horror that awaited each and every one of these xenophobic freaks in the Holy Nation. Of course, some tried to escape, but little did they know, I had already created a 300-mile-long wall around the entire city, ensuring that none would escape alive.
Can you do that? Can you actually do that? Because there are like restrictions on where you can build stuff in this game. Like you can't build too close to a city.
Combat broke out in the streets, and countless were dead within the first hour of the assault. This was a great start, but the real metric for success was sitting in this house right here. Lord Phoenix, the leader of the entire Holy Nation. If we could take him down, surely the morale of the remaining guards would shatter.
Asshole himself.
I sent 3 of my best bugs to fight him, and they're dead. I sent 100 of my best bugs to fight him.
Yeah, by the way, combat does not scale with numbers in this game. It is purely a stat check. Well, most of the time. It's the type of game where if you get if you get 5 level 1 characters to fight a 1 level 5 character, the level 5 is just gonna sweep and kill all level 1 guys in like literally one swoop. Yeah, it's not fair.
And I'm not going to lie, it was actually pretty competitive. Phoenix is very tough, but eventually we managed to slowly whittle him down to a point of unconsciousness. At which point we stripped him naked, put him in a cage, and beat all of his friends into submission. And with that, victory
As they
was
deserve.
ours. Some fighting persisted throughout the day, but it was clear
Holy
our
nation
sleeper cell
scum.
had successfully overthrown a corrupt and politically incorrect government. Without a doubt, justice was served on this day. The only thing left to do was to rebuild.
Look
We
at
had
this
in our
guy.
hands a rare opportunity to learn from the mistakes of our forebearers and build a better and more accepting society. The only rule? No humans allowed. Sorry, Matumbo. I hope you enjoyed this challenge because I plan to do more
I mean,
like
honestly, it's already more accepting than the Holy Nation is. So I guess the Holy Nation like even pushes out. I don't know, like kicks out other humans. So yeah, they suck. Ah.
in the future. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Cool. Wow. I love this. I love Kenshi so much, man. Ah. But alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if it could help us out, could you please click like and subscribe? And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra. Bye-bye.